Hello my friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Novella. Today is Sunday and that means coffee clutch. Coffee clutch is a Flemish, Dutch, German word even, and they also use it in New York. It was New Amsterdam before it was New York, and that only means that I invite you over for a coffee. Here it is, and some chit chat, and in my case it's mostly about books or kittens or a little puppy, but let's keep it to books today. So I have read today included 163 books since the 1st of January, and what a wild collection it was. What a wild ride, actually. It started off well, and I had a lot of 4-star reads, but 5-star reads were very rare, but they only came like the last 2 months, but what wonderful 5-star reads they really are. So I am planning to do a sort of also mid-year check-in on Wednesday, and on Friday I want to do a genre that I really loved when I was a teenager and in my 20s that I kind of forgot, really, and that is historical fiction, but war fiction. And I want to do a top 10 that I really, really love. So, but today, let's keep it to what I've read this week. And I also want to mention we are now for Classics and Company, starting with a new book together with Tom LA Books and Micah Cummins and Steve Donahue. And we are reading Decameron, or the Decameron by Boccaccio. So I'm in the Decameron is actually a story told by 10 people over 10 days. So everybody has 10 stories to tell, but each day a story. And it's about a period during the plague in the 14th century. So I don't know anything about the Decameron other than that, but I'm told I can guess that it's quite shocking sometimes and quite raunchy at times. And I'm reading the English version, and this is translated by McWilliam. And G.H. McWilliam. And I'm also reading the translation in Dutch. I forgot who translated it, and I don't have my iPad here. For now, I've read the introduction and the first story, or the first 2 stories of the first day, and I'm liking it so far. It's very readable and very accessible. So yeah, if you hear noises, it's Vita. Anyway, let her discover the world. So yeah, that's what I've started to read together with Micah, Steve Donahue, and Tom LA Books. There's no one better than Tom LA Books to talk about Italian classics. He is the best for those things. So yeah, you should check out his channel. He is marvelous. And then I also read one book of this. This is a collection of 4 novels by Sergei Dovlatov. Sergei Dovlatov is an Estonian writer. And I read the first book in this collection, The Compromise. And this is about an Estonian journalist, but during the Soviet regime. And he has to find interesting stories, but those stories, they always have to be with the Soviet idealism in mind, and oh boy, does he have to make compromises. It's hilarious, it's funny, and it really shows that bureaucracy can go way too far. So yeah, it's very entertaining to read. So that is The Compromise by Sergei Dovlatov. Now, yesterday I read a very odd but wonderful book, but I always forget the name because for me it's quite difficult. So it's For Thy Great Pain, Have Mercy on My Little Pain by Victoria Mackenzie. And this is based on, it's a novel, but based on real women that have lived some 600 years ago in 1413. And so yeah, it talks about two women, Marguerite and Julian. They all both live in the Norwich area in England. And so they don't know each other. They don't know each other, but they have both visions of visitations. Is that the right word? Where they see Jesus. And both don't really know how to deal with it. So there's Marjorie, I believe, has 14 children and a husband she doesn't love at all. And Julian was married with child, but husband and child passed away during the plague epidemic, and then she lives together with her mother. Julian has visitations of Jesus very often, and they have discussions. But Julian doesn't tell it to other people. She is very devout, but she doesn't tell anyone. And Marjorie is just the opposite. So Marjorie, she can't stop talking about it, and more people mock her and laugh at her and tell she's crazy, and priests warn her that she has to be careful, otherwise she will be burned at the stake. And but she can't stop, and she leaves her husband and children, and she goes everywhere where she can talk and about Jesus and preach his word. Julian, on the other hand, she waits till her mother has passed away, and then she becomes a sort of recluse, but that's not the word. Let me see, what's the correct words? Anchoress. Yeah. So she goes to the priest and she asks, there's a cathedral in Norwich, and there are sort of cells where an anchoress can live, and they let her in, and in a way they celebrate her death because she will die there. So she will die without meeting other people anymore. So they close the door, but with bricks and mortar, so she really can't get out. And but she receives guests through a sort of like a mailbox in a way, and so she can listen to people's troubles and she can give them advice, but she hears Jesus dictate her what she has to say, and more people come to her. And Marjorie has heard of Julian, the anchoress, and she goes and visits Julian. And she says, well, I see Jesus, and Julian doesn't respond, but she asks to come back, and then things happen from there. Now, this is based on real women, and there are books that have survived and copies of their books. And it was a really, this is not a story that I would normally read, but I was so intrigued that I still read it and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It's a story about grief and loneliness and being, if you believe in something and people don't believe you or don't see that you can achieve things, that you still go through that sort of wall of misunderstandings. Yeah, it was a marvelous little novel. It's more a novella. I really, really, really enjoyed it. Then today I read this book, M by Antonio Scurati, The Last Days of Europe. Now, this is not the first, this is the 3rd installment. So I know that in English the first is already translated. That's with the white cover. Then there's a second with a black cover that is not yet translated into English. And this is the 3rd. So this speaks of the period 1938-1940. And a lot of things I already knew, but it was very interesting nevertheless. So at the beginning, Hitler really looked up to Mussolini, and he really, was inspired by Mussolini. It was his great example. And this period that I'm reading now is where the student becomes the master, and Mussolini is slowly pushed aside and not really taken seriously anymore. And it frustrates Mussolini that, with the Anschluss, with when Austria becomes part of Germany, he didn't know about it. And then the first invasion in Czechoslovakia, he didn't know about it. He definitely never believed that they would invade Poland, and also the Netherlands and Belgium and Norway. And every single time Mussolini is taken by surprise. But he gave them his word that they would join the war, and so here it ends with the participation to the war. What is so fascinating in this novel is that the way, Nazi was always about race and race purity and attacking everything that is not pure. And they, at the beginning, the fascists in Italy weren't really busy with that. There wasn't, they knew that there was a pure Italian race, but they thought that. But for them, the others weren't important, so they didn't really want to exterminate them. And but more and more, they are drawn into that narration of. Endlosing and so it's really interesting. And how the Italians, when it ends with the speech where the announcement where Mussolini declares that Italy will participate in the war, and no one is really enthusiastic. They don't really feel it, and they know that this will be a challenge for Italy. So it's with mixed feelings. The people love their dictator, their Mussolini, but Duce, but not the idea of participating in the war. I have had a very good reading week. This Fractured Soul is still in my veins, and I loved it so much. I talked about it on Friday, is that possible? Or Wednesday? This one? So beautiful by Akira Mizubayashi, translated from the French into English. A Fractured Soul, absolutely brilliant, beautiful book. Also, I'm still thinking about The House of Doors by Tan Tuan Eng, also beautiful. So yeah, I've read a couple of really good books, but the one with the difficult title, For Thy Great Pain, Have Mercy on My Little Pain by Victoria Mackenzie, that was a brilliant surprise. And yeah, Antonio Scurati, he is wonderful, so yeah. And yesterday, I hope you saw our discussion, the Memoirs of Hadrian. I really enjoyed it. People are surprised that in Belgium it's not considered as her best work. It's another book. Again, I forgot to look it up. I will do so when I edit this video. I'm sorry I was a little late today, but that happens. Technology, what can you do about it? So yeah, that's it. I think I will start today with this book, in Ascension. This has caught my eye on several channels. I know that Bob the Bookerer has loved it. I know that Books and Bow loved it. I know that Carl Eric Anderson has loved it. So yeah, I will start today, and I think I will love it too. It's a sort of a soft science fiction, and but very simple and very mysterious. So I'm really looking forward to this. In Ascension by Martin Macinnes. So yeah, that's it. I will receive a book that was really important to me when I was like 13, 14. And that was the first start in my love for war novels. So I hope I can show it to you. It's by a German author that is not available in English, I'm afraid, or not anymore at least, but he was really popular. So thank you for watching. I hope to see you on Wednesday for my mid-year check-in, and yeah, talk to you later, and enjoy what you're reading. Join us also for the Decameron in the Discord. Please, or just follow the discussions. They are very interesting always. And Tom LA Books will also join us in the Discord. So yeah, he is a wonderful teacher when it comes to Italian classics. And of course also Mr. Steve Donahue. But he's only 28. What does he know? Anyway, talk to you later. Bye-bye.